Hey, this is Jonathan Pasley. Today is April 11th, 2018. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video with somebody who you think can benefit from it. Now, me and my wife on Sundays, we watch church from home, right? Watch it on TV or watch it online, because we have two little ones under 2, and it's quite a challenge to take them to church and still concentrate. So until they get a little older, we watch church online, and we typically watch Elevation Church. Recently we've been watching Elevation Church. They are out in North Carolina. Really, really good church, Bible teaching church. The pastor is Steven Furtick, really dynamic preacher, one of the top 2 preachers that I listen to and follow. Check him out, Elevation Church, Steven Furtick. And this past Sunday, we sit down and watch church, and I'm like, all right, cool, we're about to watch Steven Furtick, Pastor Steven Furtick, excited. And it's a guest pastor. Okay, I know you're not supposed to have favorites and all that, but let's be real. Sometimes you do have favorites who you want to hear speak, right? And guest pastor, and the guy's name Michael Todd. I'm like, never heard of the guy. I started tuning out. I was like, no. I started fighting, and I was like, no, let me not tune out. Let me listen to this guy. Let me listen to him. So he starts off, and it gets good really quick. It gets good really, really quick. I'm like, I turn to my wife, I'm like, who is this guy? Like, Michael who? Like, Michael Todd. Like, he was really good. Got off to a really good start. And he was talking about being marked by God. Right? Being marked by God, being chosen by God, having a purpose for your life. And his sermon really, really resonated with me. He told a story about when he was younger, him and his brother, they were fighting, they were boxing, they were playing around, and they were doing like body blows, and he was getting the best of his brother, like boom, boom, getting the best of his brother, and his brother, out of nowhere, hits him with a good old hook, right, in the face, right, knocks him down, and Michael Todd, Pastor Michael Todd, he gets up. He's like, hey, you weren't supposed to be hitting in the face. We were supposed to be doing that, And he said this, which again resonated with me. He said, never is there a hit that you don't expect, that you're not expecting. The worst hits are the ones you don't expect. Wow, right? Resonated with me because in April of 2016, life was great, right? Business was doing well, newly married. We just had our first child. It was a son, my first, son. I have given my initials. I'm super excited, we're excited. And one day, I'm in the office, and out of nowhere, I started throwing up nothing but blood. Nothing but blood out of nowhere. I didn't feel sick that day or the day before. Come to find out, go to the hospital, get rushed to the hospital. They do emergency surgery because a tumor on my stomach burst, and I'm literally bleeding to death. Literally bleeding to death. And after I get out the hospital, in the hospital, they cut out tumors off of my stomach and liver. I get out the hospital, doctor, I see oncologist says, hey, Jonathan, you have stage 4 cancer. And here I am, 29 years old at the time, newly married, running a business, new father, right? Just had a son. He was, at that time, less than 2 months old. And, they depend on me, my wife, son, they depend on me. Like, what in the world is going on? My life was completely flipped upside down. It was a hit that I definitely didn't expect, right? And Pastor Michael Todd, he went on to say in his sermon that life's hits, right? They're bound to happen. They'll happen to you. Life will hit you, and you'll get knocked down. But that's not the end of the fight. That's not the end of the battle, right? And that God has a purpose. God has a plan for your life. God has a plan for my life. And that God can turn your obstacles into opportunity. So I want to show you a clip of his sermon. I'm going to put it right after this here. If Pastor Michael Todd, you actually see this video, I did bootleg it. Sorry, but it's for a good purpose.
So when you're marked and you're going through this process, let me give you my next points. You're elevated through obstacles. And this is the one that takes most people out. Because we're taught, especially in Western culture and in the church, when we see an obstacle, retreat. And that's what the entire nation of Israel was doing. The whole army saw Goliath. He goes to deliver these sandwiches and he sees the whole army out there, and Goliath for 40 days is talking about God, and the whole Israelite army is frozen. Like, man, this dude is talking about our God. And David walks up with these sandwiches like, here, bro. Who is that? What you say? What you say? Do y'all hear him? And he's like, yeah, he been doing it for 40 days. And y'all ain't done nothing? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine? That was cuss words back then. Y'all know, this uncircumcised. Like, it would be like, you understand, the parental sensory. Like, and David says, I'm not about to sit here and listen to this dude defy my God. So where thousands took a step back because they saw an obstacle, David took a step forward because he saw an opportunity. Obstacles and opportunity are almost the same depending on who's on your side. So when God's on your side and they give you a diagnosis of cancer, that's the opportunity that God says, step forward. I'm about to be your healer. I am going to be the one who gets the glory out of this. When debt is in front of you, God says, don't retreat, step towards it. I'm Jehovah Jireh, your provider. I will meet every one of you. Oh, I hear somebody getting excited because your obstacle is no longer an obstacle. Because if God is for you, who can be against you? I dare somebody to give God a shout of praise in this one. Yeah, come on, somebody give God a shout of praise. Step towards it. No longer, because we're marked, will we step away from the obstacle. We step towards it because we know who's on our side.
So I hope you enjoyed that clip. Now, when he said cancer, when he gave the example of cancer, I was like, God's speaking to me. Like, he's speaking directly to me. Like, I was like, just this sermon was definitely for me. And it's funny how, in the beginning, I was like, oh, it's not Pastor Steven Furtick. But, hey, Michael Todd is an amazing pastor. I'm definitely going to be following him too as well. But, his sermon was for me because I could relate so much to it, so much to his to that sermon, because my obstacle definitely is evolving into my opportunity. And in my cancer journey, that especially that year after I was diagnosed, it was a difficult year, and I had to hold on to a lot of verses that really helped me through my journey. One of them, Jeremiah 29:11, that God had a plan, had a purpose for me, and a plan and purpose for good for me, for a future and a hope. In Jeremiah 29:11, read it. The future part I really held on to. I'm like, God's got a plan. He's got a plan for good. He's got a future for me. I'm gonna get through this. Proverbs 3:5, to trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not into my understanding, but lean unto God, lean on His understanding, and and He'll guide, direct my paths. I had to. That's a verse I had to really hold near to my heart too as well, because through my journey, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I didn't know what God was doing. Like I didn't. I'm like, what's going on? So I really had to trust Him, follow Him for direction. A lot of the times things were confusing. I didn't know what to do. But you know, some things just didn't make sense. But I, you know, had to keep faith. You know, mustard seed faith. Matthew 17:20, a huge verse for me too as well that I held on to, and just believing that God had a purpose for me, and having faith, even the size of a mustard seed, that, you know, God is bigger than cancer, that He could, you know, see me through it all. Another one, Romans 8:28, that all things work together for good. That all the things that were happening, both good and bad, during those hard times, that God's gonna work it all together. It's all gonna come together. I remember being in that first year of after being diagnosed. It was a tough year, a rough year. I feel like I'm doing all the right things. I'm seeking God. I'm praying. I'm reading the Bible. I'm drawing closer to Him. I'm, you know, working on my relationship with Him, having a closer relationship with God. I'm eating all the right things. I'm doing, you know, Gerson's therapy and eating all organic and all these diets and things that, you know, I feel like God was leading me towards in doing, and He was confirming things along the way. A year later, I'm in the hospital. Tumors grew back on my liver. I'm having stomach pains. You know, the doctor's like, "Hey, I hope it's not too late for you." You know, my wife starts crying. They admit me into the hospital, and I had a very, very rough night. I remember that night, a horrible night. I didn't even think I was going to make it that night. Rough night, but I left the hospital, right? A couple of months later, I'm doing a lot better. I'm doing a lot better. I visit my oncologist. My oncologist says, "Jonathan, when you were in the hospital a couple of months ago, your blood work was so bad that most people don't come back from this. And now your blood work is so good that you're normal. You're normal. I'm calling this the Lazarus effect." Right? God turning obstacles into opportunities. You know, and I know that is just the beginning of my story, of my purpose. I had to go through cancer. God allowed cancer into my life to prepare me, to test me, to humble me, to develop me into the next step, to into my purpose, to the plan He has for my life. And I truly believe that now a part of my purpose, my plan, is to help others who are going through their cancer journey. So, you know, if you're going through something, whatever it may be, a challenge, it may be cancer, whatever it may be, God's got a plan, God's got a purpose. You gotta hold on to His promises. You gotta believe that He's got a plan for you. You gotta have faith that He's got a plan and purpose for you. And, you know, never give up. Never give up. If you are battling cancer, I did start a support group on Facebook, Christians Battling Cancer. Join it if that resonates with you. If that's something that you want to join, go to www.cbc.support. It'll take you directly to the Facebook group. Just go ahead and click join. I'll approve you. It's a great group where we encourage each other, support each other through the journey. www.cbc.support. But if either you or if you are taking care of somebody who also is battling cancer, join the group. Again, we're there to support each other, encourage each other through the journey. Hey, so I hope this video was encouraging to you. I hope it was helpful to you. That's the only reason I do these videos, is for you. So remember to like my channel, like this video, share this video with someone who you think can benefit from it too as well. Hey, also comment underneath this video with your favorite verse, your verse that has maybe gotten you through a challenge, a trial, whatever it is, a verse that you typically gravitate towards. Comment underneath this video, and I will see you on the next video. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in.